Behind the glow of television lights and the rehearsed smiles of morning shows, there was once a man named Evan Hartley, the nation's favorite ball of sunshine. The kind of presenter who could trip over a cable on live TV and somehow make the entire country fall a little more in love with him. His laugh? Contagious. His charm? Effortless. His ability to keep talking even when the teleprompter froze? Legendary. But off-screen, Evan was hiding something he hoped no one would notice. Not his producer, not his co-hosts, and especially not his wife, Amelia, the woman who knew him better than he knew his own cereal preferences. At first, the signs were tiny, the kind of tiny that Evan thought he could simply shrug away. A little tired here, a little dizzy there. He blamed everything on being extremely handsome while overworked, which made Amelia roll her eyes so hard she practically saw last week. But soon, even Evan couldn't joke it away. He started feeling breathless walking upstairs. He'd lean on the kitchen counter, pretending he was just admiring the fruit bowl, when really he was hoping his lungs would stop behaving like grumpy toddlers. The man who once ran around studios with the energy of a golden retriever was suddenly moving like he'd aged 50 years overnight. His colleagues noticed, his fans noticed, and Amelia, she noticed before anyone else. One evening, after Evan nearly fainted during a casual conversation about laundry, Amelia finally sat him down. No jokes, no teasing, no deflecting, just the quiet, trembling fear of a woman who loved him too much to pretend everything was fine. Evan tried to charm his way out of it, because of course he did. He insisted he was just tired and probably dehydrated and absolutely not going to the doctor because doctors ask too many serious questions. Amelia simply crossed her arms, raised one eyebrow, and delivered the 4 words that have brought many brave men to their knees. Get in the car. And so, with the confidence of a man who had absolutely zero control over his situation, Evan sat in the passenger seat, quietly eating gummy bears and trying not to look terrified. The medical warning he received was not something he could laugh through. For once, the room wasn't filled with jokes. For once, Evan didn't try to lighten the mood. Because hearing that stress, exhaustion, and pushing himself past every limit had finally caught up to him was no longer something he could ignore. Amelia cried. Not the dramatic movie-style sobbing, the quiet, heart-shaking kind of tears that fall when love turns into fear. Evan held her, wishing he'd listened sooner, wishing he'd slowed down, wishing he'd realized that being strong didn't mean pretending nothing was wrong. Their 2 kids, Max and Oliver, reacted in the way only kids can, first with panic, then with determination, then with a very serious family meeting where they voted that Dad was officially banned from lifting anything heavier than a sandwich. Evan agreed, mostly because he liked sandwiches. The Hartley home changed after that, not with sadness, but with something warmer, softer. Suddenly there were slow mornings, breakfasts that weren't eaten while running out the door, walks where Evan actually enjoyed the scenery instead of speed walking like he was in a fitness commercial. More laughter, more teasing, more silly moments where Amelia would catch him trying to do chores he wasn't supposed to do, and he'd claim he was accidentally holding the vacuum. Fans noticed his absence and messages poured in. Support, love, jokes, memes, even a video montage titled Evan Hartley's Top 10 Most Adorably Chaos-Filled Moments, which Amelia played whenever he needed a reminder that he was loved far beyond his job. Evan is now learning what it means to slow down, to breathe, to take naps without guilt, to let his family fuss over him, and to understand that sometimes the strongest thing a person can do is rest. And while the coming weeks will bring change, one thing remains undeniable. Evan Hartley may have stepped away from the screens for now, but he has stepped closer to the people who matter most. And if you ask Amelia, She'll tell you she doesn't need the perfect presenter. She just wants the man who steals her snacks, makes her laugh, and holds her hand like it's the most natural thing in the world.